Okay, hi everyone. After you have seen the first video, we are going to the second part of the video. Okay, so before we start, make sure that I would like to remind all of you, you should look at the first classwork from the E-class. It is about the computer concept. It will be related to the IPO of the last video. It will involve the IPO diagram such as input and then process and then output. Of course, last time we mentioned about a fourth hardware. It is called storage device. Okay, before we go on, make sure you revise what you see during the last video. Alright, in the second video, we are going to go further and look at some important keywords in the computer concepts. Okay, first of all, for the data you input to the computer, we got two important keywords. It is called data and information. Okay, for data, most likely we refer something that is data means it is a collection of raw data, R-A-W. Raw means it didn't process, it is not organized, it may be just collect from the environment without any processing. So we call that raw. 廣東話我哋叫未經處理，或者一個普通嘅英文裏邊，我哋 raw 通常代表即係啲未熟啊、生嘅嘢啊，即係未熟嘅食物啊、生嘅我哋 we call that raw food. Okay, so we call that raw facts. Facts is a kind of truth or incidents or some kind of things that appears to be some sort of matters or things. So we call that facts. 中文叫做事實。Okay, so we call that raw facts. It didn't process. Alright, so after the computer system have processed, okay, that part, most likely after processed, we will call that information. So if the data is being processed, okay, most likely, give you such an example, if the data is being processed, which has been, we can say that it is organized. Oops, sorry. Okay, organized. Sorry, I have made some mistakes. Organized. Okay, if the data is being processed, such as if we organize so that it is meaningful, or if it is useful, okay, for future use, we call that information. So, very simple. The steps that involve, if we have some steps that involve the process of data into useful information, we call that steps or the process, we call that data processing. Okay, like this. So data processing is the process of converting raw facts, we call that data, into some useful information. Then this steps or process, we call that data processing. So by using the IPO diagram, okay, this is the IPO diagram we mentioned in the last video. Okay, this one in the middle, when it changes from data into information, this process, we call that data processing. So this is the ideas of data processing. And it involves data, and then the data is changed into useful or organized information. All right, so let's look at that. Look at some example. All right, such as this. All right, you will see that all this are not organized. I don't know why it is 16. I don't know what's the meaning of 17. There are 317. And we have some names, Peter, Mary, John, and so on. So that's obviously that is some data we got on hand. Maybe you do it by a survey, or you just have a questionnaire to ask someone, but you did not organize it. So very simple. We input the data into the computer, such as we use Excel, or you type all this data into a computer software, so that the computer software will do the process or data processing. This is the part of process. We input the data, and then by using the computer, we have some data processing. All right, and it processes the data, such as we organize the data into a tabular form. This is a table. Okay? Then now you will see the data are meaningful to us now. Okay, so this one, we change that into information. So look at that. Right. Of course, during the data processing, we need to have some software or programs that help us. Right, what is a program then? Right, a program, just like what we have learned in the last video, program is indeed just like software. It's a series of commands, which tell the computers how to do a task, how to process the data, and then that software, or that small software, a little software, we call that small program. Right, such as you use it in first term, Microsoft Word is a program. Okay, so even not just a computer program or computer software, even in our home, we got some appliances, okay, such as the washing machine. It got a lot of programs in this machine. Okay, so you have different programs to handle different kind of clothes. So if the programs or the software is stored in the home appliances, we call that stored program. But you do not need a computer. That's a small microchip in this kind of smart appliances， 即係一啲叫智能嘅電器啦。Okay, appliances 即係一啲家居嘅電器。Alright, we call that within this kind of smart appliances, it has a lot of different stored program in it, so that the machine can do this task automatically. It can do the task automatically. And of course, you are not just washing your clothes once. You're going to wash it a lot of times when after you wearing your clothes. So those programs can do the same thing repeatedly. Okay, so we call that store program because it can do the task automatically, and also you can do it repeatedly. So this kind of software inside some smart appliances, we call that stored program because it's stored inside the microchip or the motherboard of those appliances. So this is called programs. Okay, I'll return to the next page. So let's see how we make all this together. In the last part, of the computer concept. All right, now you know that we got input devices, we got processing unit, we got output devices, and of course, we have mentioned about the storage device. All right, last part we have mentioned about some data information, and we have some programs. Of course, the programs need to be stored. So most likely, the programs, the files, the data, we can store our data or information in the storage device. All right, this word comes out again. So if we look at the IPO diagram again, it looks like this. Input devices, then we'll pass to the processing devices or processing unit, and then it will go to the output device. And the storage device, look at that on the right hand side. Okay, you can divide into two. Okay, you can store the data inside the storage device. And of course, you can call out the stored files or the stored programs and take it out again. So, two-way direction. And of course, there's an other kind, or I can say a new kind of device. Nowadays, you are not just using a computer alone. You are going to go to the internet. Okay, we need some communication device so that you can connect to the network, go to the internet, and connect with other computers. Of course, it works out like storage devices. Okay, so we have a new idea of IPO diagram. Okay, if you want to make a simple conclusion, let's go to this. You may write it down in some of the spaces on your notes. For an IPO diagram, okay, it works out like this. We have inputs or input devices, and then after you input or you use input devices to do it, you will go through the stage of process. You use the CPU, you use the microchip or the processors in the home appliances. And then of course, the next stage, it will display the results, or it will print out your hard copy, and we call that output stages. Okay, of course, you know that after you learn the new things, we have two different directions. You can store the data, or you can call the data out from the storage device. So the IPO diagram now look like this. Okay, so this is a conclusion that you have learned about the computer concept right now. Okay, so we go further to look at other than the hard disk or the CD-ROM in your computer. Okay, what other things or what else it belongs to the storage device? Alright, a lot of you know this. Alright, we go to the last page. Alright, look at this. Apart from hard disk or CD-ROM, most of you may recognize this one. Because this one most likely will appear in your smartphone, your mobile phone. This is a kind of memory card. Okay, we got different memory cards. Okay, I better make it smaller. I zoom that out. Okay, we got different types of memory card. Okay, so I give you some examples, such as the first one. You look at this, it's quite familiar. All right, this one we call that micro, because we have different types of memory card. This is called micro SD card. It's a small one. MICRO SD card. Okay, we have a normal size SD card. This one called micro because it's small. It is used in your mobile phone, most likely, your smartphone. Okay, this one is a regular size SD card. So we just simply call it SD card. Most likely you will see this in your maybe your digital camera, or maybe in your camcorder, or some kind of big camera or video camcorder. It will use the SD card because it's faster and it may have a larger capacity to store the files. Last one. This some of you may not see this before. This is even a larger memory card. Most likely it will use in some single lens camera. Single lens camera in Chinese 一啲叫單鏡反光機。OK， 一啲比較大啲可能係專業啲嘅影相機。OK，we call that single lens. OK, camera. This memory card, we call that CF card, or it is the full name. It is called Complex Flash Card. CF card. Okay, so this is about the memory cards. So we look at on the right hand side. Okay, I better zoom out. We have another type of storage drive. We better go to this one. This one is a lot of former students may have already used this before. This one, I want to give you the correct name. Some of you may have a very funny names because if you say that in Cantonese in Hong Kong, 好多人都會講呢個叫做 USB 手指。But please don't write down USB finger. Okay, this is not correct. The correct name for this storage device, we call that USB flash drive. I better zoom in. It is called USB flash drive. FLASH. It is called USB flash drive. Don't write down USB finger, USB. No, this is not called USB. USB is just a kind of user interface. That is the type of the ports that you plug into your computer. USB is not the name. Okay, so this is called USB flash drive. Make sure you write it correctly in the exam. Okay, not USB finger. Okay, please. Okay, so this one. If you like to play computer games, or if you like to buy new computer or the personal computer, desktop computer at home, some of you may already seen this before. This is a very fast, speedy, I can say, speedy hard drive, much faster than normal traditional hard drive. This is also a kind of hard disk, but this is a special type of hard disk. Maybe some of you know the short name, the abbreviation of this hard disk. It is called SSD. Then what is the full name of this SSD? It is called solid state disk. Most likely, in short, it is called SSD. It is a kind of hard drive, or you can say hard disk, but it is much faster. If some of the boys like to play computer games, a lot of you may prefer to buy a new fast SSD hard disk than traditional hard disk. It helps you to load much even faster, maybe 2 to 4 times. So this one is called SSD. The full name is solid state disk. It's a kind of hard drive. Okay, next part. We go to this together. Okay, be careful. We have the third type of storage device. We have memory cards, hard drive, or USB drive. But we have optical drive, optical disk to store the data. This one, it is called Blu-ray disc, but make sure you spell it correctly. It is B-L-U, okay, not B-L-U-E, okay? It's Blu-ray, L-A-Y. Alright, this is called Blu-ray disc, 藍光碟, okay? So this is called Blu-ray disc. And if you like computer, maybe in your primary school, nowadays you can still see this. You have another type of optical disc. It is called DVD. Alright, this is a DVD disc. Okay, and of course, if you want to read this optical disc, you need an optical drive. So don't mix that up. This is disc. This is drive. So if you want to read the Blu-ray disc, you need a Blu-ray disc drive. I better make a star in here. Right, you need a drive. Of course, if you need to read the DVD disc, you need a DVD disc drive. So make sure that you don't write the wrong name. Okay, so this is the last part of this chapter about the computer concept. Okay, before you finish, make sure that you take a look at the vocabulary list. Make sure you know all the meanings of these keywords. And of course, you need to go to the E-class and make sure you finish the E-class classwork. Okay, so please pay attention to the starting date and also the deadline of the E-class classwork. Okay, that's all for today. I wish you have a nice day. Alright, see you soon. Bye bye.